So moving on to our next speaker, Miss Komal Sharma, Senior Manager, Medha Organization, and her topic is all over experience in psychology field and future recommendation to research psychologists. Ma'am, over to you. You have a time of 15 minutes. Thank you.
Hi Anuma, thank you. Am I visible?
Yes, ma'am, you are visible and clearly audible too.
That's great. All right, first of all, thank you so much to the JAX community and the foundation for this opportunity to interact with the young minds and discuss that what are the various opportunities and the fields where students of today can explore, and especially the psychology students. So I have been always intrigued um, by the human behavior, what motivated them and what drove their behavior, and how it can be improved and how to measure it. So when we talk about human behavior and how to measure it, we are going towards research psychology. And yes, that is my topic for today. And I'm Komal. I did my post-graduation from DU. And I started my career counseling profession. And thereafter, I realized that I want to make it more into the research domain. I did an independent mental health study, which was published on some of the platforms like Curious and Daily Hunt. And thereafter, I joined Medha Organization, where we basically try to understand how we can improve the well-being of the adolescents. So let's delve deeper. What is research psychology? It is when you analyze human behavior, responses, and performance to enhance the overall well-being of a particular individual or maybe a group. So the closest domain right now, which is upcoming, is the behavioral insight scientists, or game theory is very much linked in understanding the human behavior. Design research is another aspect where the psychology comes into play. My current work inculcates that the understanding the program design and its implications and its impact on the people. So basically, I map the behavior is being enhanced or not, and what are the factors that are going in enhancing that behavior and how it can be improved. What are the strategic decisions that the management can take to improve the overall impact? So I will present a presentation now, and we'll take it from there, where we'll discuss more around the research design and the type of tools and scales that we explore in this domain. We are aware about the qualitative and quantitative methods, and looking at the qualitative methods, the purpose of the quantitative study, when we do a quantitative study, is to understand the relationship and the cause and the effect. Here, we develop it prior to the study, and it is mostly deductive. What we mean by deductive is it is top-down. So picture it like this, that there is a big picture, and you want to break it down to small bits, so it is more consumable to understand. The tools are pre-selected, the scales are defined, basis the problem of the study. And then it is usually implied on the large samples so that the statistical numbers that are coming out are reliable and valid. And qualitative study is to understand the phenomena, and it is very rich in detail. It is very flexible because you are aware of the complete process and you can tweak it according to the environment and the context. It is inductive, unlike quantitative. Inductive is when you have the small bits of information and you want to develop the bigger picture. You want to develop and generate a story around how these factors are interacting with each other. You use small samples, and narrative description or the interpretation of a particular problem comes into play when we use the qualitative methods. So quantitative is to understand that what is working and what are the factors that are going into this impact, overall impact. And qualitative is when why it is working and how it is working. So it is more descriptive in nature, and quantitative, on the other hand, is more numerical and more number based. So now we are talking about the research design. Once we have a problem, we'll need to understand the problem and contextualize it. By contextualizing, I mean, is that are you going to interact with the people from the urban area, peri-urban area, or the rural area? And once you have contextualized it, so for example, I have a problem that students maybe in the rural area are not very good in the self-efficacy domain, and I would want to work on that particular psychological aspect. So we have a program design now, and this is the curriculum that we are going to work with the students. Now I understand the program design and the problem. And next step is to understand the intended impact. How are we going to impact these students with this program design, and how it is going to solve that problem? After understanding the impact, and this is all still in the design phase, once we are aware all of these 4 steps, we now decide how to measure it, and the tools that we will use, the scales that we will use, the method we will use. We'll use case studies, focus group studies, or questionnaires or surveys, and what will be the duration of the complete program. So most of the research designs stop here. But before you delve deeper into solving a particular research problem, it is important to finalize, at least at a mental level, that how are you going to analyze the data once you have it. Because you cannot change the data once you get it, because it is very tedious, it's not cost effective, you don't have as much of time. So it is important to understand that how you're going to analyze it. And the next step is very important again, that once you develop the research insights, how are you going to communicate it? You have the research insights, but if you are not able to communicate that insight to the program development or the product, it will not amount to, the purpose will be in itself be a little lost. So the final and the last slide here is that how do you communicate a research insight? So once you have done the complete research and you have developed an insight and you have a suggestion, you start by explaining what is the problem and where is the gap. Why is that impact not happening? Maybe the students want something more, or maybe the skills are not being transferred in a different situation, or skills are not taught in a way that students can actually adapt it. And once you have that gap, you give your suggestion that what is going to work and why that is going to work. To communicate that why it is going to work is also a necessary aspect of it, because that will bring more credibility to your suggestion. Here, you can use some studies and quote that maybe in a different context, how it has worked so far. So I have worked on multiple scales, from locus of control and growth mindset, and mostly the life skills. And if the students here are looking to maybe somewhere considering research psychology or research design in their future prospects, there are a few of the aspects that I can, maybe if I had known back then in my college, I would have been better prepared also for all the upcoming challenges in the field, is that we somewhere would want to include more indigenous skills developed for the Indian population. That incredibly improves the standard of a research. Next is that we don't emphasize as much when we are studying in colleges statistics, because you will use the case studies and focus groups, but to communicate that how much is the impact, it is important to have the numbers with you, if the impact is happening or not happening, and how much is the impact. And finally, you cannot see a research as a particular discipline unless you are going into clinical domain only. Psychology interacts with several fields, with philosophy, history, economics. So you have to be interdisciplinary in your research, because that will add value to your research. So this is a little insight towards the research psychology for the students who might be considering this field. I'm open for questions anyone may have.
Thank you for your insight. The students.
Anoma, your voice is breaking. Is it just me or everyone else? Are hearing a break in the voice? Anuma, I think there is some signal lag. I can't hear you, and I think people are also are not able to hear you. They're mentioning it in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
So sorry, ma'am. There is some technical issue at the end of Anuma, ma'am.
Audible?
Any participant would like to raise up any question? Please mention in the chat box. There is a question, ma'am, from Upali. In research, how to be good at choosing a topic and problem statement to make your research authentic?
Upali, that's a very good question, first of all, because research problem sets the bedrock for your research process altogether. And how to choose a good topic depends on why you're choosing. Like if you're doing a research just for your college, then probably it will be according to your research interests. But if it is working with the product team or a program team who is working with students and adolescents, the best way to choose a research topic is to involve all the stakeholders who are going to impact the overall research study. By stakeholders, I mean here is the maybe upper management and the beneficiary and the facilitators who are going to implement the program, because you want them on board with the study. And most of the time when you're working on the field, people don't really realize that why is research required. But research is required to when the program is successful and you want to scale it to other states or maybe in other context. That is when a research program and the numbers and the research insights help you bring more credibility and value to the overall when you are pitching the program. So that is how you go about choosing a good topic. You need to involve everyone in the ecosystem who are going to impact the research. I hope that answered you, Upali. Gukan asked that how to do simple research. Give some example of current problem of research. Gukan, so research is never simple. Like if you are going to approach it that it's going to be simple, then I would not recommend that highly, because it involves a lot of aspects and facets. And like I said, that there are particular 7 to 8 steps that you need to be aware of before doing a research. Why those steps are important is that once you maybe obviously you design it, but it is not necessary that that is how it is going to lay it out on the field. So if you want to tweak something, you have something to fall back to. You have other steps that you have done correctly, and then you can tweak it according to the future steps towards the research problem. So I cannot give you some suggestions for simple research. Oh, yeah, thank you. Any other questions? I hope this has not taken much time of the overall program and the schedule.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your beautiful words.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya.